In this problem, we're given an equation in slope-intercept form and are asked to graph it using the slope and the y-intercept. Our given equation is y equals negative 5/3 x. Let's go ahead and first find the slope and the y-intercept. According to slope-intercept form, the slope is always the coefficient that is with the variable x. So in this case, our slope is negative 5/3. The y-intercept is always the number that is a constant or by itself. In this case, we don't see any numbers, so technically you can think of this equation as being y is equal to negative 5/3 x plus 0, because that would still be equal to the same thing as y is equal to negative 5/3 x. So our y-intercept is actually 0. Now we're going to use these two steps over here on the left-hand side of the screen to graph using slope-intercept form. The first thing I'm going to do is plot the y-intercept, which we just determined is 0. So right there in the middle at the origin. The next thing I'm going to do is use slope to plot additional points. Reminder that slope represents rise over run. So I'm going to rise by negative 5 and run by a positive 3. Okay, so you still see how the negative 5/3 is a fraction. I'm going to go back to where I just put my y-intercept at 0. And I'm going to rise negative 5, which just means I'm going to go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then run to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. You can continue this going down, but notice it'll go off the screen a little bit. So what I'm going to do is now plot a point on the left side of my y-intercept. So I'm going to go back to my y-intercept at 0. And I'm going to do the same rising and running, just in the opposite direction. So it continues the line, making it a linear equation. So instead of rising negative 5, I'm actually rise positive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And instead of going right 3, I will go left 3. 1, 2, 3. So my new point will be up here. And then once you're finished creating your points, 3 points is fairly enough to kind of get the idea of what your line is doing or your equation. You're going to connect your points using as straight as line as possible.